Okay, let's do it. And 3, 2, 1.
Peace and love for the cat people. I didn't think you left Warwick.
I don't like to leave Warwick unless I have to.
Bananas.
75 yards from shore and come across a great white shark.
75 yards?
He calls himself a Swiftie. Unbelievable. Every single day went and got hot wieners my entire senior year.
Oh, yeah.
You're not even qualified to vote on this.
I want to know what the people think. They're trying to sell the house.
Ding, ding, ding. Winner, chicken dinner. Welcome to episode 14 of Shootin the SHT. I am Nick, and this is
JT.
So if this is your first time listening, we have a pretty lighthearted podcast. You know, we talk about real estate, we talk about other things, but mainly we're here to have some fun.
We really just like to shoot the
Wow. Dropping a swear in the first 10 seconds of the episode.
Demonetized.
telling it like it is.
JT, this is a family podcast. It's the second week in a row I had to remind you of that. Please watch your language.
Yeah.
That's because it's the second week in a row that we've established that. And we're 14 episodes in.
Yes. He still doesn't quite understand.
We switched to a family podcast 13 episodes in.
Nobody told me.
Speaking of, why are you cracking a bottle of wine?
Because it's a family podcast. And one of my favorite things to do with family on Thanksgiving is to enjoy some red wine together.
Are you kidding
Wow.
me? That's just adorable. Do I have a thing for that?
Man, did that
That's
play
okay.
or what?
That's okay.
really
That was
did.
good. That was really good.
Is that your favorite tradition of Thanksgiving?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a lush.
Wow.
We know who
Loaded
you
question.
I
Loaded question.
enjoy being together, watching some football, good food, good wine. It all goes together so nicely. It makes it one of my favorite days of the year. Probably my favorite day of the year.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there for me too.
Is it because your family is just so in love with each other and you guys sit around a big table?
Nate needed his wine and he dropped the soundboard over there.
Give me my voice back.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Why do you say it like that? Yeah, because your family.
Nate and I have had some side conversations about how amazing your life was growing up and how everything has just been perfect.
Why do you
In
have
the life
side
of-
conversations about that? Thanks,
Because
guys.
we didn't have that. So it's 2 against 1 on that one.
We were
So-
commiserating a little bit. Nothing against
Sorry,
you.
I love my family. Jeez.
No, you're very put together. You have
Cheers,
a nice
Cheers.
cheers. Yeah.
If you haven't gathered already, we are recording this podcast on a Wednesday afternoon before Thanksgiving. No one is here in the office. It's basically just us grinding away on this unofficial holiday. What are some of your favorite traditions for both Thanksgiving and the immediate holiday season that follows?
Thanksgiving, I can tell you, but it's going to make me sound like a total degenerate.
Well, let's go with this, actually. Let's rank Thanksgiving sides for tomorrow. What are the best sides?
Oh wow. Okay.
Nate hates it when I go off script. He says,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
fine.
he
Yeah,
doing? I had a
So
script.
it's like,
This
why
is
do
a
I
good
put
one.
it together?
It's making me
you know?
hungry.
It's called Shootin the SHT.
My mom makes a really good broccoli casserole.
Okay. Sounds meh.
2 whole sticks of Velveeta cheese.
I just only broccoli
He's such
casserole. It has nothing to do with
I
your
love
mom.
it. It's so cheesy and it's so good. But so mom's broccoli casserole.
Okay.
Probably stuffing. Oh, my grandma's homemade applesauce.
Okay.
Apples.
Mashed potatoes, probably. Oh, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is a good one.
Jen makes a good mac and cheese.
So I'm going to say not something that I have typically made at my own family Thanksgivings, but one in which we had at the team Thanksgiving here, our Friendsgiving, team giving last week, 2 weeks ago, was Anthony's scalloped potatoes were
Those were good.
top notch. Big fan of scalloped potatoes. So those was nice. Definitely love mashed potatoes. That's up there. Cranberry sauce is always a winner. But I'm going to go with a little green bean. Nope, I'm not. I like green bean casserole.
Yeah, me too.
Took that off.
But I am going to go with the sweet potato pie with the burnt marshmallows on top.
Hey, all right.
That's what I'm talking
That's one of
about.
mine up there too.
Yep. So that's what I'm going with.
All right.
I love myself a green bean casserole myself.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but with like the dried onions on top.
Yeah.
Of it, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right
That's
there.
that's my jam.
Do you know what I think the most underrated Thanksgiving food is?
What's that?
Anyone want to take a guess? Nothing.
My wife would
Thinking.
say
Turkey. I love turkey.
That was my guess.
It's so good.
Give me a second.
Like, why do we only eat turkey on Thanksgiving?
I quite like turkey myself.
I
A lot of people hate on turkey.
I know. Why?
Or don't
What's
even
the
like
hate?
it. Some people don't even like it on Thanksgiving.
I know. It's
which is
insane,
un-American in
isn't
my
it?
opinion.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
You know,
back to England.
Yeah, right. You know what Benjamin Franklin's favorite bird was?
What was that?
The turkey.
Can't blame him for that.
He also had gout.
Kindred spirits. Right there. Ben Franklin and I. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. All right,
boy.
so let's jump in. Now we're moving on from Thanksgiving to Christmas. We're in Christmas season already. So, John, Christmas traditions. What's your favorite?
Decorating, getting the house all festive with the tree, the stockings, the Christmas village. I haven't done it really the past few years, but I enjoy some outdoor lights as well. Jen likes to go around and look at the Christmas lights. Christmas Eve is always big in my house. Go to church, and then someone usually has a big party. Went to my aunt's house for pretty much the first 30 years or so of my life. Now, I think hosting duties are going to switch from like my aunt and my parents' house to my house and my brother's house. So looking forward to new traditions there, but love a
hope
big
your
Christmas Eve
parents
party.
don't put up as much of a fight as my parents did. Not just my parents, but our parents when that transition occurred.
Oh, they welcome it.
It's
Oh, they are.
a healthy family.
No, they are gladly passing the torch.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
excellent. So all great stuff. I love Christmas lights. Actually, I got a quote on my house to put Christmas lights up professionally. You want to take a little guess as to what that number looked like,
I think I heard it.
Nate?
This is to put them up and take them down. They provide the lights.
Yes, store them the whole nine.
I'm gonna guess it's got to be something stupid, right?
I mean, it's a lot of money.
Okay.
I just can't bring myself to pay. I know a lot of people who do.
Like $3,000?
No, less than that.
Oh, less than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you
But
do
for
it
me,
for
that's
$3,000?
That's nothing.
To know Nate was such a baller.
Yeah, I am. 1,200?
1,600.
1,600?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put them up
It's
yourself.
only half
man.
of $3,000.
I have a tall colonial.
Oh well.
No,
Who's a baller now?
I didn't say it was like
live in a big
I've seen your house. You have a very nice house.
it's on the top of a hill. I mean, to get to the roof, I would die. I mean, I can't do that. I'm not very. What did he say?
This one here. This is talking about
I
being on
live
top,
at the top
of a hill.
of a hill. Mount
Yes.
Tatro.
Yes, Montetro.
I live at the. Well, no, I technically live at the top of a hill too.
Yeah, you do.
Does it feel good? It feels good to be on top, doesn't it, fellas?
Does. Good view.
Toast
Watch
to
the
that.
sunrise.
All right. Anyway,
Tell us more about your lights.
I also
I don't
enjoy.
care.
That's it. That was all I had to say about that. Was
What are
that
some of your other
I thought
favorite-
about doing it, but Thanksgiving is so late, and they couldn't get them up to the second week of December. I'm like, am I going to spend that kind of money to have them up for two?
But not even the whole season?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You're spending that kind of money. Get them up by Thanksgiving.
But I feel kind of bad because like I have like a year or two left probably of Lucy, really enjoying that Christmas spirit. Lily's already like, give me some Sephora and leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like she's a 13-year-old girl, so it's like you kind of
13.
So at the same time-
That's when the magic goes away. You think?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So can you put a price on your daughter's smile?
Well, it's too late for this year. Maybe next year. We'll see how she is. If she has a good
Speaking
year.
of loaded
Yeah,
questions.
seriously.
Can you
So,
put a price on your daughter's happiness?
but I also too enjoy driving around and looking at Christmas lights. That's a tradition of ours. Not in my top three though. You want to know my top three
Give us the top
Christmas traditions
Mm.
in descending order?
three. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Number 3 is reading not the nightmare before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas. The night before with my kids. So that is a wonderful tradition. We read
That's
that
sweet.
book every Christmas Eve, right before
Just
bed.
reminded me of two traditions.
Yes. So that is my favorite. My third favorite tradition.
Okay.
My second favorite tradition would be when my wife and I first started dating. I started getting her a gift every year of a photo book. And so every Christmas morning, she gets a photo book of the entire prior year in review. So it has photos from the entire year, any trips we go on, major milestones, things like that. And it's become such an important tradition in my family that my kids look at these books all the time. Like literally, like throughout the year, my youngest especially loves to look at photos from before she was born, when my wife and I first got together, when we got married, all that kind of stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we have every year's a volume, and we have chapter 17 now we're up to, whatever it might be. Yeah, and so she looks at these every year. And we look at it together on Christmas morning, and it's a nice little tradition.
It's like you have your Slocum eras.
Yes, essentially. Yes. Wow.
Very good, John. Very good.
And my last tradition is a new tradition. Is 2 years ago.
Oh.
You guys know how we love Disney,
Yeah.
right? So 2 years ago, you guys both know this, but for the friends at home, 2 years ago, we decided that we're going to do something different. We host Christmas. That's our one holiday that we host. We had to wrangle it away from our family members, and eventually we just said we're doing Christmas at our house, and you can join us, or you can stay where you are. And they came, kicking and screaming. But essentially, we decided to go down this road, and we did the traditional prime rib dinner, things like that on Christmas and whatnot, and it was wonderful. Wife cooks a mean roast. It's fantastic. But we decided to do something different 2 years ago. So we're big Disney fans. We love Epcot. And we say, you know what we're going to do? We are going to have a completely themed Christmas where they're going to come. They're going to have no idea. And, when we go into Epcot and we walk back to the countries and we go left, we start in Mexico. So we did the same thing as we started a tradition, and we just had a full Mexican-themed Christmas, and it was a complete surprise to everybody. We had Mexican food, decorations, music,
Sombreros,
the whole
the works.
Oh, it was great. It was absolutely fantastic, and we are now going around the world on Christmas Day, and my kids are already mapping out how old they'll be when certain countries come around. So we did
that's cool.
Norway last year, which was all right, not as fun as Mexico. This year's China. Very excited for China.
Ooh, okay.
My wife's saying she's just going to have the whole thing catered. I'll reach out to a Chinese restaurant. And
You should make fried rice on the Blackstone.
I'm going to.
Do like hibachi.
Yes. Yep. So that's our next my favorite tradition. It's fun. We do a different thing every year, and we just rotate through those Epcot countries and have a different themed Christmas. So it's fun.
Super cool.
You reminded me of two old traditions. One that really keeps going. I want to do with Hudson, but then another one that fell off a few years ago because I'm not at my parents' anymore, as I was when I was younger on Christmas Eve. But we would always watch The Grinch, the cartoon, followed by The Muppets Family Christmas with John Denver,
Okay.
followed by Christmas Vacation, all on Thanksgiving night. And then my dad and I used to watch A Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve.
I got to say, I love Christmas Carol. I kind of like all the renditions. Like, even the one with Jim Carrey, like this kind of animated is good. I watch that with my kids nowadays.
Yeah, it was fun. I like that one.
it was
Did you watch Spirited? Just a little plug there. The movie I was in.
I'm sure they have. You were in that movie?
Well, I wasn't in it. I worked on it.
What did you do?
Oh, boy.
I was a production assistant.
What does a production assistant do in
A
Spirit?
lot of things.
On
But that was the
Spirited.
one with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
You
It was
met
a
Ryan Reynolds?
Christmas Carol. Huh?
You met Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, I go. He's Ryan to me, but yeah,
Okay.
we talked all the time. We're buds.
I've been told once or twice.
That's my favorite tradition. Is
Is
to
he
talk
coming
about
over
my
he
tenuous celebrity connections.
Is he coming for Thanksgiving dinner?
Ryan?
Yeah.
I haven't asked him yet.
No.
It's been a while. I should reach out.
More of like a last minute thing, like when you see him on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Eve, like, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to come by?
He flies me out, or
Yeah.
I fly. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanksgiving or Christmas traditions. We have a couple that we share actually.
Really
So-
quick, can I interrupt
Yes,
you?
yes.
Before you get into this?
He's talking about tradition.
I think we found our 6 degrees of separation to Taylor Swift.
Oh, I've heard this before. Yeah. Okay. Go on. Yep.
Go on.
Yep.
If he knows Ryan Reynolds.
Because Blake, right?
Oh, boy.
Ryan's married to Blake. Blake is best friends with Taylor. Taylor's going to be at our next Christmas party, I bet, if you can actually,
That's less than
deliver on your commitment to this organization.
Sure. I wasn't aware I had made a commitment to have Ryan or Taylor.
Well,
come
you
to
and Phil had
a Christmas
quite
party.
the bonding time this morning.
Yes.
I feel
Correct.
like you guys were just hugging it out in the corner for like half an hour. So
This is true.
I thought you were just all in on the next 75 years.
Oh,
That
I'm-
lifetime
the
contract you
next
signed.
75 years.
You signed a lifetime
because
contract.
Phil and I had a good conversation this morning.
It was a beautiful moment.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to read the fine print of these contracts because they're out of control.
Well, I
at
mean,
this
it's too
point.
late now. You already signed it.
Nate,
Sure.
it's a family podcast.
Oh, sorry. These contracts. That's crazy because Terry now wants to utilize my connections, however tenuous, to get Taylor Swift to go to her daughter's wedding.
Okay. Love Taylor. I'm sorry. I love Terry.
Yes.
But no.
But Taylor comes to the
But the
Slocum
company
one.
comes first.
Yes.
Taylor's on
I
the
agree. I
podcast
agree.
before she goes to Terry's wedding.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Can we add
100%.
Taylor as a collaborator on this podcast? See if she wants to join us. I mean, we're not far from one of her houses.
She is going to be on Kylie's podcast.
Really?
Yes.
Imagine if we could go do a Shootin the SHT offsite podcast from Watch Hill, Rhode Island, down at
Yeah, an emergency pod. I bet she has space for an emergency podcast studio at her house.
right down at Holiday House.
Yeah.
So we'll head down there. It'll be great.
Sure.
So you didn't read your morning brew this morning.
I skimmed it.
So Jason Kelsey's wife, Kylie,
Yes.
is starting her own podcast, and
Okay.
her first guest is Taylor.
Gee, I wonder why. She's a pretty good connection. How do you get a
I'd say-
podcast off the ground? Well, let's have the biggest pop star of all time on
To
it.
launch a podcast? Yeah, that's a clever maneuver.
Why couldn't you do that for us, Nate?
What the hell? Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm slacking.
Call Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. I'll shoot
Or
him a
just
message.
ask him tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about my favorite traditions
Yes,
now. Huh?
yes.
Now that we're done trying to use me for
Tell us
my
about your
connections.
traditions. I can't wait to hear this.
Okay, I can't wait till I tell Ryan how you guys are just really trying to take advantage. Let's see. My wife and I, we watch the Star Wars movies every year. That's been a big
For
tradition
Christmas, huh?
for Christmas. Yes, because
Interesting.
1 through 9, episodes 1 through 9.
yeah, we go all the way. Well, we skipped 9. I don't like 9. 9 was.
What do you think of 1?
Poo poo caca.
I like 1. People hate
A
on
Phantom
1.
Menace.
Yes.
It's very nostalgic for me.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean that Darth Maul fight. I mean,
Yes.
forget about it.
Absolutely.
Attack of the Clones, the romance, I could do without. But otherwise, love those movies. They're
Yes.
some of my favorites. The original 4, 5, 6 are still classics.
Absolutely.
So we watch those every year when we get the time, and then we decorate. We do the Grinch the night before
Jim Carrey's or the cartoon?
the cartoon.
Love it.
We do the cartoon, and then when we wake up in the morning, we bake cinnamon rolls.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. And then, so we do Christmas Eve. We always do Christmas Eve, just Lauren and I. That's for the family, for the inner unit. And then Christmas Day, we go over to my mother-in-law's house. I have a very small family. My parents have passed, so it's just my mother-in-law and my wife, and eventually our children. So, yeah, we keep it kind of like very intimate. We go over to their house. We have food, and they do this thing where they hide a pickle ornament. Have you guys heard of this?
I have my cousins used to do this because she was
Yeah.
obsessed with pickles. What country does that come from?
Hide a pickle
I think it's
ornament.
like a French Canadian thing.
I've never heard of this.
possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because this is like so you hide a pickle ornament in the tree,
Yep.
and whoever finds it gets like an
extra present.
Or an extra present.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where this originates from. I'm sure they've told me. I feel bad, but
Yeah.
they're French Canadian, among other things. But like I think more closely tied with French Canadian heritage. So
So I didn't do it by country of origin. My cousin was just obsessed with pickles growing up. Like she could eat a jar of pickles.
Pickles are good.
So at one point they found like a pickle ornament and it had like the history and what you're supposed to do with it there.
Yeah.
So they started the tradition, and then every Christmas it was like, oh, who found the pickle this morning?
it's just a thing that we do every year. Yeah, and I've kind of been adopted into this family tradition.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Did you know that I have an aunt pickle?
You have an Aunt Pickle.
I'm sorry.
I did. I'm sorry. She actually passed away. Rest in peace to Aunt Pickle.
Aunt Pickle.
I don't recall the situation, but apparently when I was very young, her name was Diane. And for some reason, I had a hard time pronouncing Diane. If you couldn't tell already, sometimes I stumble upon my words, whatever it might be. So I had an issue when I was maybe, 2 or 3 saying Diane. And so I guess she got fed up one night, or not one night, maybe it was Thanksgiving. I don't know when it was, but apparently some family dinner when the whole family was around. We had a big family. And apparently she was like, listen, I don't care what you call me. She picked up a pickle off her plate and said, for all I care, you can call me Auntie Pickle. And it stuck.
Oh, so it was like a nickname,
awesome.
essentially. It was assigned to her. Oh, that's
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
That's cute. Auntie Pickle.
Auntie Pickle. Miss her. She was great.
Reminds me of the Rugrats.
Yeah. So
Tommy Pickles.
Yep.
The origination of hiding the pickle on the Christmas tree was in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
There you go. Germany. Cool. So I was way off base. Not
right.
French
Do you have a
Canadian
German heritage?
or Portuguese.
No?
That
Does your wife?
Lauren? No.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
Super weird. It might have been something that was like a custom like immigrants when they came over, and then it like spread to other
Okay.
cultures, I would imagine, right?
Or maybe one of them just like pickles and they found the ornament one
It's
day.
possible.
I
It's
like
very
pickles. Yeah,
possible.
let's do it. Cool. Let's
Let's do it.
Did we all agree?
Let's hide
You
a
wanna
pickle in the tree or
Let's
whatever.
hide a pickle in the company tree.
Yeah.
And whoever does it gets a bottle of wine or something.
Let's
every
do
year.
it.
I think you should combine everyone's Christmas bonus into one. Whoever finds the pickle gets everyone's bonus.
You're putting a lot on finding that pickle.
Bonus. What's a Christmas bonus?
What are we doing? I'm guessing this is a pause.
Hey guys, how's it going? Producer Nate here. So I just wanted to take a second to make a quick note. We did have a slight technical hiccup with the audio recording. We ended up getting the entire interview and the rest of the podcast absolutely fine, but the beginning of the interview was cut off slightly. So what I did is I brought in a quick clip of Nick introducing our guest speaker, Billy Almon Jr., who is the CEO of a company called Claflin. The only thing that's different is I'm using the camera audio It's literally 10 seconds of footage, just Billy's introduction, and then we kind of get into the company's history. He starts off by saying that his family bought Claflin, and I think back in the 70s. So yeah, without further ado, here is the rest of the podcast. Enjoy.
All right, let's do it. So, Billy, you are the president and COO of a company with over 200 years of history. That's insane. Can you give us a little backstory on Claflin and how you landed in the captain's chair?
Back in the early 70s, purchased the Claflin company from the Claflin family. We're just going to liquidate it because they didn't have anybody to turn it over to. So they bought it, and they've run it ever since. And I was lucky enough to take a few roles, not say no to anything. And now I'm running things for Dad and my uncle and aunt. So they're happy.
That's awesome. I love it. 200 years. That's insane. We often don't find too many companies that are older than us, never mind substantially older than us. So that is fantastic.
Yeah. I think we're like the fourth or fifth oldest company in Rhode Island.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
We're on the PBN list. I always forget if we're fourth or fifth, but I don't think we're ever going to catch the White Tavern, but
that might be tough. Cool. Love it. All right, cool. So Claflin is a leader in healthcare logistics and supply chain innovation. What's the coolest, most cutting edge thing happening in your industry right now that people might not know about, Billy?
So right now, everybody is petrified about tariffs. Most people probably don't know this, but 90% of the commodity disposable items you use in healthcare, from gloves to crutches to needles and surgical devices, are made in Southeast Asia and Mexico. So a lot of business right now about what the tariffs are going to bring to healthcare in terms of like pricing and affordability, and are people going to try and move factories? So what we're doing right now, and a lot of people in the industry are doing, and I think Claflin's doing a great job of it, is we're offering innovative solutions on long-term storage, so pre-buys, bulk buys, customer-owned product, manufacturer-owned product, like come and warehouse it in Rhode Island. We can get you anywhere in New England. It's a medical leader in the world, really, in Boston and Hartford and New Haven and Providence. So we're doing a lot of that stuff right now. And that's kind of where the industry is going to go probably in the next 2 years, is in that direction.
I love it. I mean, shameless plug here. I got 38,000 square feet of warehouse space in Apponaug, just saying.
I have your number.
Fantastic. All right.
So Billy, advanced logistics management focuses on tailored solutions for healthcare facilities. What's the wildest or most unique challenge your team has solved?
Well, the wildest was, I won't name the client, but we had a client call during COVID and say, hey, we're expanding our critical care floor here in our hospital in Massachusetts. We're doubling the size of it. We have Department of Health inspections next week. We don't have anybody to set up any of the racking or product storage or proper labeling required to open a medical facility. What can you do? And we said, excuse me, like how long do we have? How big do we have? So we went up there with a team of like 20 people, totally blind, and kind of designed a solution as we went of, building racking and building flow charts and all that stuff. And, got it done basically over a weekend. And this client was able to have nurses show up the next day and put patients in beds. So
Wow.
That was pretty cool, I guess.
COVID must have been nuts for you, huh?
COVID was very, very interesting. You learned you grew up a lot during COVID. It was crazy times. Everybody was a expert in importing, exporting law, and everybody knew somebody who had 20 containers of face masks that they could get you tomorrow.
I think I ordered a few of those off of Amazon, that's for sure. So, all right, Billy.
I hope they were legit.
I'm sure they weren't. Yep. So, as you know, about 10% of our podcast is, professional and on topic and target, I should say. And the rest is kind of just off the wall shit. So let's jump into that. So you are a proud Swiftie. So let's settle
100%.
this. Yes. Let's settle this debate, Billy. Rank the errors according to Billy Almon Jr.
Oh crap.
Top 5 is fine.
All right, top 5. So I went to the Eras tour before Tortured Poets came out. So am I including Tortured Poets or no?
You can. It's just the era in general, so not necessarily the sets during the
Okay.
show, but just the albums. Give me your top 5 albums.
Okay. All right. 1989, Folklore,
Yes.
Tortured Poets, Lover, and Evermore.
Evermore, nice. So not even Reputation. Top
That's what
5,
I was
huh?
thinking. That's my favorite.
That's what I was going back and forth with the last one.
Okay.
They really, I
Last
mean, I think it depends on the mood.
I respect it. I mean, 1989 has banger after banger, and Folklore is really speaking to me lately. I'm just going to say that I can't get enough Folklore these days, so I'm not going to argue either one of those.
Love it.
Yep. So
1989, I think it's my daughter's favorite, so that's probably why it's my favorite.
sentimental. How many kids, Billy, for the listeners at home?
2. I have a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son.
Nice. Love it. Very cool. So what is your favorite song or lyric from T Swift that speaks to your life?
Oh wow, jeez, I didn't know we were gonna get this deep into it.
I like to put people on the spot.
Nick told me you were the ultimate Swiftie.
I don't know if I'm gonna go that far. I'm gonna say I stay out too late. I got nothing in my brain. All right, like it's the ultimate. It's like what everybody goes to, I think, and it's like every once in a while I just think about that. I'm like,
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, that kind of segs into my next question, Billy. So you just got back from a golf trip. The Riley's down in Hilton Head. How was it? How was the game? Was it on fire?
We played great. Like you have to be a really big cheater to win the Rileys, as you know. And I don't cheat enough, I think, but we played really well. We played really well and finished in 4th. So I wasn't disappointed. It was cold, but it was like it didn't rain. So I mean, it could have been a lot worse, I guess.
Okay, give me some highlights from the trip.
So not to plug another company, but I flew Breeze into Savannah. Really cool direct flight, easy going, like up and down. Watched a movie, an old James Bond movie. It was really cool. The opening night was cool. It was at Riley's. They had the Riley's own a chain of restaurants, and they host an opening night party, which was really cool. Got to see a bunch of people. It's like guys you only see once a year, but you're friends with because you're always in Hilton Head when you see them. So it's, you don't keep, it's a good time to catch up with those guys. So a lot of guys from like the greater Hilton Head area that come into play. And then I think the coolest part was they have a sponsors dinner. So the group I go down with, a bunch of guys from War Country Club, we all chip in and do a sponsorship. And the Rileys are kind enough to invite us to the sponsors dinner. And this year it was at their brand new restaurant called Benny's on the Water. And it was out of sight good. The food was like phenomenal. The food was unbelievably good.
Where is it on
We
the
had a
island,
great
Billy?
time. It is almost all the way to the bridge, Nick. Like if you're going off the island,
Yep.
almost to the bridge, your very last right. And then it's like maybe a half a mile down through this windy road. And you think you're in like a neighborhood, and all of a sudden you turn a corner and there's this massive restaurant on the water.
Is it near Hudson's in Skull Creek? Or
It's right near Hudson's.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Right near that. Yeah. So it's it was really cool. They got fire pits outside. They got a rooftop bar. Huge. They said they seat over 300 people in the dining room. So it's massive. It was open bar, and we always play this game like who overdoes it on the first night. And a few of us. I was not one of them, but a few of us accomplished the goal and overdid it, and felt really bad the next day.
That kind of leans into my next question regarding that. But real quick story aside, my 1 year I went to Riley's. I believe Billy did not go. I know he did not go.
I didn't go.
Yes, but my first night, I don't even think I went that hard, but I got a case of the hiccups, and it was awful. It was so bad. So I'm on the side of the restaurant, and Riley's like hiccuping the whole time. Like, this is brutal.
So everyone thinks you're just the messy guy.
Exactly. It was awful. And once I get the hiccups, I can't get rid of them. It's terrible. Absolutely
Who
terrible.
brought him?
Anyway, any lowlights from the trip, Billy? Any dirt you want to share with us?
Any dirt? No, I'm not
Okay.
going to round anybody out like that. But it was the
We didn't
usual
need
suspects.
names. We didn't need
acting in-
names, you know?
So the only thing, I won't use any names.
Oh, here we go.
One night we decided we were staying in one night. We get a nice house, has a pool, and we decided we were going to stay in one night and just get Chinese delivery. And one of the gentlemen who had overextended himself throughout the day decided at the last minute he was going to place the order on his phone for delivery
Oh, boy.
because he was going to be in charge. And we argued with him, why don't we just call the order in? And he said, calling the order in is unreliable. Let me do it. And he finally just wore us down with the argument. And 20 minutes later, when we checked on him, he still hadn't finished typing the order in on the website. And people were ready to throw him in the ocean. So Nick can probably guess who it is. Nick knows him.
I got a couple guesses, that's for sure. So, segueing into our next question, question number 6 of 10 is: I believe every great golf trip has its own set of unwritten rules, the commandments of a golf trip. So be it, if you will. What are your top 3 commandments, Billy, for a successful golf trip with the boys?
Don't hold everybody up. So if we're all going to the course at 8, don't come downstairs at 8:15. But in the same aspect, don't want to get to the golf course 2.5 hours early because you need to hit balls for an hour to get loose to play your game. Like, you got to be a little flexible with everybody. Like, meet everybody in the middle. So that would be my number 1 rule. Number 2, God, what's my number 2? Don't cheat. Like, play golf. Don't cheat. Like, just because you don't know your opponent or, you really want to win because there's a lot of money at stake, play even. There's a lot of guys down there who don't play even, as I would say. I won't call anybody out, but that would be my number 2. And number 3 is be agreeable. Don't be a grump.
Love it. Be fun. That's the first thing I thought of.
Billy, have
Yep.
you ever broken one of your commandments?
Never cheated. I have been late. I'll say I've been late. Yes.
Too much fun the
And
night before?
That was for exactly way too much fun the night before. Just not. It wasn't because I was trying to be late. I just couldn't be on time.
That's fair enough. It happens to the best of us. All right, let's dream big. If you had an unlimited budget to redesign Hilton Head for the ultimate golfer paradise, what would you add?
A bigger airport.
Wow.
So you can fly in direct places. Like right now, if you want to go to Hilton Head, you either have to fly to Savannah, which is about an hour away, in a car, or you have to fly to Charlotte, and there's only 3 flights a day from Charlotte to Hilton Head. So if it doesn't match up, it doesn't match up. So you're either sitting in the Charlotte airport for a long time, or you're flying to Savannah and getting in an Uber. And my Uber from Savannah to Hilton Head was like
$200.
a nightmare. It wasn't that much, but the guy drove literally 45 miles an hour on the highway,
Oof.
and his car smelled like a wet dog. And I was like, oh my! I was like, get me! I like wanted to stick my head out the window the whole time.
Ace Ventura style.
Terrible.
Just like the dog did.
Literally, that's what. Oh, it was awful, and I was like, just get me out of this Uber. And I'm just looking like on my phone. I'm like trying to find where I am and where I have to go to. And I was like, we're so far away. I'm going to die.
It's awful. Figured you were going to say something about a clubhouse that played Taylor Swift on loop or something, on repeat all day.
No, I have a speaker. I played Taylor
There you
Swift on
go.
loop all day.
I love it.
The entire weekend. Chris Franklin, my partner, is quickly becoming a Swiftie.
It's the
So
best. How could you not? I mean, she's the greatest pop star of all time, right,
exactly.
Dave?
Sure.
All right, if you could pick any
Yes,
nickname. What do you got, Billy?
Scorpio was way off on that.
Yeah,
one, by
Michael
the way.
Jackson. Come on. I mean, not even close.
Terrible.
Come on.
Terrible.
If you could pick any nickname besides Trunk Slam, what would it be and why?
That's below the belt. Right? That's below the belt.
Can we ask what Trunk Slam is? Is that a current nickname?
It's that's below the belt. That's not. I thought we were friends.
We're great friends.
No. This is unbelievable.
Is this Billy,
So,
aka Trunk Slam, on the line?
It is.
Okay.
This is unbelievable. No, Nick is referring to when we play in tournaments. There's usually a dinner after the first night, and it usually is like a Friday night. Well, this fall I coached flag football for my kids in East Greenwich in the flag football league, and the games were Friday nights, so I couldn't stay for the dinners. So I would play golf and go out into my car, and usually trunk slam is if you play really bad, you don't hang around to tell anybody. But it wasn't because I played bad. I had fatherly obligations.
No, I respect that. I mean, I totally get the fatherly obligations. I do, Billy. But I got to say, I've been a member of WARC now for, I think, 4 years, and I've heard the term trunk slam, I believe, since 2020.
I coach a lot of sports. What do you want me to do?
Low blow, Nicholas.
Just ask it.
Unbelievable.
Low
This
blow.
is terrible. Is he like this in the office all the time?
Yes.
Relentless.
See? Terrible. Hostile work environments, guys.
That's my greatest form of love. You know I like you if I start to bust your so.
You love the shit out of us.
All right, next question. Johnny, take us away.
All right, Billy, it's time for real estate trivia. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Did you hear this segment with Scorp?
I did hear the segment score. I listen to every episode.
Oh, wait, hold on, John.
Big fan.
What is it time for?
Real estate trivia. All right, Billy, we're going to start with an easy one for you here. HOA. It's not something golfers deal with, but homeowners know this all too well.
The Homeowners Association.
That was a layup right there.
It was.
That was. I don't think Scorp got any of that easy.
I'll take it.
All right, next one. ARV. Hint, it's what flippers dream about.
It's the is it the assessed real estate value?
Not quite close, though. After repair value.
Close enough.
Close.
All right, REO. Not a speedwagon, but it's the bank's new best friend.
REO. Yeah, all I can think of is Speedwagon. REO. I have no idea. REO. Don't know that one.
Want to help him out?
Real estate owned. So if a home goes to auction, the bank retains it, then they list it back. A lot of people think it's actually a foreclosure, but it's technically an REO property. So a property owned by the bank, selling it through a real estate agent on the market.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. Oh, you're brutal with this next one on him.
Well, I had to because he has a company. It's a division of his company called ALM.
All right. So, Billy, there's also an ALM in real estate.
There is?
There
Yes.
is.
It's a winning strategy for real estate professionals when they're on the phone. Talk about multitasking.
Can I sue somebody for like infringement of marketing rights or something or no?
I wouldn't say it's like a trademark thing. It's just basically an acronym for what agents should do when they're on the phone with a prospective client.
Okay, so always. So it's like it's an activity.
It's an activity when specifically. I'll keep going with a couple more hints. It's what Zillow focuses on. So Zillow says when you're on the phone with a Zillow buyer, you should follow the ALM scripting.
You should look for these. You should look for these three things.
Oh, I was gonna say always listen more. That's what you should do when you're on the phone with a client.
It's good advice.
You should.
Yeah.
I don't know then. I don't know.
Appointment, location, motivation.
All right.
That was
I like that.
I didn't think there was any chance you were gonna get that one. That was a tough one. So I had to give
No,
HOA as a
I had no
layup.
idea.
So that he could get a tough one. ALM.
That was tough.
So Zillow coaches on ALM. That's the framework that they tell us to go for. Is to try to get the appointment, find out if what locations that they are looking in, their motivation for buying. John could probably speak to it better because he actually coaches on that.
I can't. I'm trying to move it along for Billy though.
Oh wow. Okay.
You want me to coach him on ALM?
No. Finally, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received, and how has it shaped your leadership style?
I'm gonna go with two of them. One was from my uncle Bob, who said, "Drink the free vodka first," and that's about as true as it gets. Like, don't think too highly of yourself. Like, don't be afraid to go to the open bar. And then two, the second one was my dad said, "Swing hard just in case you hit the ball," and that is if you're going to do it, do it. Don't go halfway in, commit to it, and make it happen.
I love that. What a great metaphor from your dad.
And it's a good one.
For those who
I
don't
think
know,
I was about 8.
Yeah, but your dad was what, the #1 overall pick in what year?
Is this another trivia question?
I don't know.
1974, I believe.
1974. That's awesome.
That's
He had a
awesome.
long MLB
Yes.
career, right? How many years?
14.
That's cool. That's awesome.
All right, Billy, bonus
Awesome.
question. You're walking down the street and Taylor Swift walks up to you and asks you for advice. What career tip would you give her?
Career tip would I give Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Play Gillette more.
Yes, I love it.
Well done.
I love it. Billy, you've been a great guest. I really appreciate you coming on. I would have to say, definitely one of our 2 biggest fans in the world, you and my dad. So I appreciate that. Thanks so much for coming on. Any final thoughts that you want to leave our listeners with?
Thanks for having me, guys. Love the podcast. Keep it going.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
Billy.
Happy Thanksgiving, Billy. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Thanks, Billy. All right.
Billy did good.
You did good.
Did a
You did
good
great
job.
job.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Great having him.
We'll see if he throws shots via group text message with like Scorp did last week. Oh, he threw me curveballs. Blah, blah, blah.
ALM, that was ruthless.
That was a tough one. I didn't no.
Yeah, I mean, HOA was a total softball.
Exactly. I mean, so I gave him one. I wanted to give him a little bit of a difficult one. I wouldn't give that to somebody normally, but I mean, you know, he has a division of his company called ALM. I thought it was kind of quirky.
That's good. Good
Yeah.
way to tie it in.
All right, excellent. One of the things we just wrapped up, John, was our 2024 review and 2025 planning session. Had a couple of days off site.
But yeah.
Tell me about it. What'd you like? What are your takeaways? How you feeling? 25 going to be a big year?
Big year.
Huge year?
Huge. It's going to be really big. You can cut that.
No, you got to leave that in. That absolutely has to stay. It was the
gonna be
greatest
really-
impression I've ever
gonna be a
heard.
tremendous-
It's going to be
year.
really,
It's gonna be
really
amazing.
big. Anyways, we went off site to do something fishy. It's a great local business. Awesome co-working space. High tops, not couches, but like benches.
Thank you for clarifying.
Huge kitchen, big conference room, aquariums everywhere. Really like zen, cool working space. So we got off site, hung out there. We kind of did a recap on 2024, did some business planning, and set our goals for 25. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really, really big year.
I just can't even respond. I agree 100%. It was fantastic. And actually, Kurt's created something really cool over there. So Kurt Harrington is the owner, CEO. I'm not sure of his exact title, but he runs Something Fishy. And they moved, I don't know, a year or two ago, but he created this collaboration space, this co-working space called Social Collaboration, I believe the name of it is. And it is an incredible space. Fish tanks all over the place, huge kitchen, bar area, big TVs. You can cast whatever you want, Apple TV, just an incredibly welcoming and thought-provoking workspace. I like to work there every day, so I'm just not going to commit anymore. And I'm going to go over to Kurt's space, and
Good
you all
riddance.
can.
What? You're not offended that he just decided he's going to trade in this workspace for
No, we
for
talked
another
about going there together, actually.
one? Oh, wow. So you're both the enemy. Okay, fine. Whatever.
But definitely, if you're looking for a spot, I believe he's selling memberships.
Yeah.
So you can actually join there and have access to the space at any time. Very reasonable numbers.
We're going to go over there, and Nate's already set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say this place. I'm there. I'm
They've
there.
got like private phone booths you can jump
What?
into. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Big fan, big fan. So, I mean, there were times where John was just going on these long rants about God knows what, and there was an aquarium on the other side of him, and I just glossed over, and I'm just like staring right through him at these beautiful fish. It's like Finding Nemo in the background. Just
John is
keep
like giving you
swimming. Just keep swimming. You know.
John is giving you a business perspective for the year. He's like, so this is really crucial that you listen to this. The fate of our company could hinge on this. And Nick's just like,
Just keep swimming.
just keep swimming.
I'm glad he really cares about my input and what I have to say around here.
Saying God knows what.
Let's jump into some industry news. So, buying during the holiday season, and when this episode gets released, I'm sure it will be December. We're going to be in the thick of the holiday season. Do you think that someone on the fence about buying or selling, let's talk about both, but let's start with buying. Should they actually get out there in the marketplace right now, John, amongst all of the Christmas parties and the events and the holiday spending, the gifts? I mean, my goodness, what would you give? What advice would you give to a buyer out there in the marketplace right now?
Buying a new home is a goal of theirs, then absolutely, it's a great opportunity.
Why?
Because a lot of your competition is settling into the holiday season, probably put their home search on the back burner. So you will have less competition. And also, if a seller stays on the market, there's a good chance that they may be more motivated if they're allowing people to go through their home during the holiday season. So combine those two things, and it could create a really good opportunity for buyers.
The savviest of buyers out there know that demand was already on the decline, let's say, compared to the height of the market that we've experienced over the last couple of years, namely due to the election, rising interest rates, etc. Now, certainly all predictions are that the Fed is going to continue to cut that rate. Maybe that'll trickle down on mortgage rates. Maybe it won't. There's a lot of other factors besides that. But long story short is we fully anticipate demand to further increase in the spring and summer months of 2025. And prices are probably going to be further up in 2025. So if you wanted to get out there, have less competition, and hopefully score a great value, then I really believe that now in the next couple of months is the time to do it.
Absolutely. And for anyone who is a current seller or thinking of selling, don't take the house off the market. You know, if you do still want to sell the house, don't give up for the holidays, because you're going to eliminate a lot of the looky-loos and the casual buyers. If a buyer wants to come through the house and call it disrupt, you know, your holiday flow or whatever you have going on, they mean business and they need to buy.
I always say to sellers, lower activity this time of year, but the activity that you do get is of much higher quality. You are not getting those tire kickers. You are getting people who need to buy, need to buy now. So, I mean, certainly it's a great opportunity to capitalize on that.
Spot on.
Love it. That kind of segs into our next topic. Key insights from Adams, ATTOMS, 2024 analysis on optimal home buying days. They said because December 4th is the prime day, not prime like Amazon, but the best day to get out there and be a home buyer in the marketplace. December 4th, all year.
That's crazy.
Thanks for the color, boys.
I believe it. I was letting you finish.
Okay, appreciate
Usually
it.
you just run on and on and then you ask for color.
They say that home buyers closing on December 4th pay the lowest premium above market value at 4.8%. That's the lowest of the entire year.
Believe that. Do you know why?
Tell me.
Buyers, well, it makes sense because buyers, so people start over.
Start over. We're not cutting anything.
All right.
It's because you steamrolled him before.
Yeah, he's
just
such
so he was ready to go.
I was ready. I had insights, but I was letting you finish.
And then you steamrolled right over him. You got in his head, frankly, I think.
As we were talking about, a lot of the competition steps back.
Okay.
You're fresh off Thanksgiving. Yes. You had Black Friday. It's Cyber Monday. Everyone's into the holiday spirit and everything they have going on. Christmas parties are starting. So your competition is lower. And based on a study comparing the median price normally compared to that particular day, that is when buyers are going to find the greatest advantage.
December 4th.
December 4th.
Get out there. And bad news for home buyers. The most favorable month of the year just passed. November. So December 4th, best day, best month overall, November. November offers the lowest average premium for buyers of 7.3%, making it the most advantageous month to buy a home. Other beneficial days. So if you are not ready to make a move by December 4th, fear not. There are additional dates with lower premiums, and those dates include
October 2nd, which is passed. However, December 24th.
Ooh, Christmas Eve shopping.
Coming right up.
Love that.
Talk about a new home for the holidays. New home for the holidays.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's get after it. Also, January 16th is coming up, and that is another one of those key dates where you can score a great deal.
A couple other dates they mentioned also have come and gone, November 13th and October 9th. What's this tell you, John, about all of these dates? The fall and winter season is certainly an opportunity to stand out amongst a less crowded marketplace.
That one was on you, bud. He lobbed that up.
I was reading ahead.
All right. So
Well, boys, thank you for asking me. So I think part of that is because you have sort of this year end of the year financial clarity, which
Yes.
I think helps. Also, you have your affairs in order. You know where your
Okay.
investments are going. You know generally how much you've made. Whether
What are you
you're on
investing
a
in this year?
salary or me.
Yeah.
I do a lot of S&P 500, a lot of index funds, some
Okay.
ETFs. You know, I play smart, but I also have a Roth IRA that I contribute, I max out each year.
Okay.
So get started with that. That's a whole nother thing. But I think it's good because you have a good idea of where you are financially at the end of the year. Okay, so it's a good time to you can make some of those investments, you can move some money around, and you can make that leap forward towards a better life and a better future for you and your family. So that's also a major contributing factor. And then also, you got to figure if you're buying a home and you're in the home by the time it gets cold, you can kind of test out how your home performs in the winter. Right? That's something people don't think about. And I've thought about that. And I think that should be talked about more and absolutely written in blogs.
All about the energy cost, right?
That's a huge, drafty windows will sink you.
Yeah.
Okay, pal?
Nate, I
And that-
apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you wanted to weigh in so heavily in these real estate topics. Usually you sit in the corner and play Tetris. So
I go on
That
Pinterest.
was your financial minute with Nathan.
Best interest of the I'm telling
Wild
you.
card.
wild card. Would you rather have to sing Christmas carols publicly every night for the month of December or put on a one-man show of the Christmas Carol for one night where you play every single part? Oh, and all of your family and friends are invited to attend this performance.
Are the public Christmas carols like in a group?
No.
Alone.
Alone.
Solo.
Solo Christmas Carol. Because if it's a one-man show,
Who wants to answer first? You want me to answer first? Do
Yeah.
you boys want to answer first?
I want Nick to answer first.
I'm going with the play. Give me Christmas Carol. I'll be Tiny Tim. I'll
what
be
my wife said.
Scrooge. I'll do it all. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be funny. I think I'd have a good time with it. Yeah, I'm doing the one-man play all day long.
All
Me
day
too.
long.
Yeah.
One, I'm an awesome actor. And two, rip off the Band-Aid all at once.
That's a great point.
Wow, I think for once we're all unanimous on this. I would 100% do the one-man. I would chew the scenery. That'd be a blast.
Yeah.
It would be a little bit exhausting having to switch. What would you do? Switch hats for each character, essentially?
If you recall, John and I had a video where we interviewed ourselves
That's
with the
true.
real estate agent
That's true.
interviewing the insurance agent. So we've already been down this road. I mean, we can definitely
Yeah.
play multiple parts at once.
Could you do it live, though?
Oh, yeah.
Live.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Unfiltered,
Absolutely.
uncut.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. You guys are very confident after a glass of wine, I'll tell you.
Question number 2. Would you rather decorate 50 gingerbread houses or 50 Christmas trees?
Christmas trees.
Why?
I can't decorate a gingerbread house to save my life.
I'm going Christmas trees too. I mean, it's much more enjoyable. I don't take the time to fluff it like some other people do, but I'll tell you, I'm all about throwing those lights up, putting the ornaments up. I think it's an event. I enjoy it. I hold my daughter up. She puts the star on top of the tree. It's fantastic. Gingerbread houses, far too meticulous. I'm not into that. Takes forever. I mean, it takes precision. I'm more of like a shotgun guy, and I'm not like a sniper rifle. You know what I'm saying? Is you know. All right, let's try one more. I found it in the data bank of hypothetical questions, and this is appropriate for me because ever since I went to London,
Oh, boy.
I've come back and I've been ripping through The Crown, the TV show on Netflix. And by
good show.
ripping through, I mean usually I get through about a half an episode every night before I fall asleep, and then I have to rewind the following night. So I'm on season 4. Princess Diana just came in, actually. So I'm excited for that. But hey, anyway, would you like to be the president of the United States or the head of state of a monarchy? Where would you rule if you were a monarch, if you answer that?
President of the United States.
You would?
Yeah.
Modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just thinking like a monarchy. Like you could be a king in like an ancient Roman
yeah.
monarch. I would say, I think I would probably rather be part of a constitutional monarchy.
Same here.
Yeah.
All day long.
Because like the queen is kind of a figurehead position.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She gets all the glory without largely a lot of the responsibility.
They have the prime minister who
Yeah.
runs the government, etc. Yeah. So I am
Yeah.
all in with you on this one. John, that's a terrible answer.
President's just a stressful job. No one
Exactly.
can do it very well.
Did you see
It's
Obama?
like-
I mean, he looks like he aged 47 years in his 8 years in office.
and he was
I
a
mean,
good-looking man. But at the end of his presidency, he was all grayed up and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
I don't
That's
know.
true. Well, I think salt and pepper is a good look. Honestly, age gracefully. John.
I'm obsessed with West Wing and shows like that. I just feel like
You'd want that stress. You get eye twitches when the spring market comes and you got to deal with more than 4 clients at a time.
he's such an
You do get an eye twitch, but
Yeah.
maybe
I
that
think
could be
it's
your
dealing with
trademark.
a little more than that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What is it, John?
Nothing.
Well, like that could be your trademark as a president. Like, be the guy who twitches a lot.
Yeah. 48 got an eye twitch.
Strong world leader.
I love it. Well, hey, at least we got a question out there that we don't all agree on. So
That's good.
that's good. Let's
Is that the rubric for a good question that we don't all agree?
I think there should be some healthy debate in a great hypothetical question.
Some discourse back and
Yes,
forth. Well, I didn't
absolutely.
expect you guys to breeze through the Christmas Carol one so quickly. Honestly, I thought he for sure would have been more of a caroler.
I definitely,
You know what I mean?
I definitely could not
You
see
know what I
him
mean?
doing a one-man
You know.
play.
Yeah.
I mean, he might say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I'm the lead actor in our typical Christmas skit, video, play, whatever you want to call it.
Speaking of,
Hold on. No.
Ooh,
Hold
yeah.
on over there, Haas. I'm usually, I'm usually the lead actor in that. So why would you take me for a caroler over there? And why would you not see me as an actor?
because you get multiple takes, it's behind camera. Usually you're alone. Other
I
than,
nail
I pamper
those
you.
takes.
I pamper you.
I
Well,
nail those
I
takes.
just because you're so wholesome. I would have thought you. Did you go caroling as a kid ever?
No.
Never.
No.
all right.
I
Well,
was in the church pageant. I acted.
And there it is.
But that was acting.
Acting, yes.
yes, absolutely. All right. Well, without giving away the plot and the story and Nate and my own great idea, we have a wonderful option to bring back Elf John, maybe for the last time, maybe not. But somebody doesn't have the Christmas spirit anymore, and we have a tradition of running out Elf John videos every Christmas, and this is the reaction we get whenever it comes up. So somebody is no longer a happy-go-lucky elf.
You know
and
what the problem is?
what's that?
Grumpy.
The people have lost their spirit in the last. I'm not going to say handful because it's not like we've been going on for centuries, but the last couple of Elf John videos, just people haven't really cared about.
Are you taking a shot at my main man Nate over there?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not.
Whoa.
I'm not. It's the people who would normally, like on social, who would normally engage with the videos. They're just not there anymore.
Well,
They don't seem to care.
How many views did you guys get in your other Elf John videos? Do you know?
I mean, we could scroll way back. I mean, I think part of the
they
But I
difference.
mean, people
tens of
talked to, like-
thousands?
We would be at like a national conference and people would talk about Elf John.
No freaking way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, actually, we were part of Curator, and we would go to their excellence conference pre-COVID. And without a doubt, people did ask us and call him Elf John, actually.
Yeah.
So it was famous within that small community of real estate agents.
But still, nowadays, like even people here aren't like, "Oh, Elf John, what is it coming back this year?" Like nobody cares.
I care.
Oh,
I
that's
care.
what it is.
He wants
he
people
has
to-
been paid reverence
Yes.
around the office.
No, I'm just saying people have lost.
All hail Elf
No,
John.
I'm just saying people have lost
the Christmas spirit.
their spirit.
Well,
for
then,
it.
then what do you do, John? As an Elf John in the past, what do? Do you give up, or do you try, like hell, to inspire people to be better?
I have a great idea, and we've discussed it. I don't want to give it away on the podcast, but I don't see why there's any apprehension whatsoever to get this recorded. I have full faith and confidence in Nate pulling off a
Nate's
masterpiece,
vision.
and this is going to be the best Elf John video yet.
You think so?
Yes.
Better than like the OG.
Those OG videos sucked.
Better. People like them, but better than Buddy the Elf.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You think this is gonna top those?
Yes. Nate,
Yeah,
it's the next project.
I got you.
Okay. All right, moving along. Do you own a rental property?
Yes.
Are you aware of the new requirements? Might have to scroll down a little bit. The new requirements from the state of Rhode Island for Rhode Island's rental property registration, John.
Where are these? I am. Yes. However, I think it's important for the people to know.
I agree.
Do you want
Why
me
I
to-
put it on the podcast. Yeah,
All right.
feel free to share.
So, new law is in place in Rhode Island. If you own a rental property, there used to be an exception if you were an owner who also occupied the property. That is no more. Even if you occupy it, you need to register every unit. So if it's a single family, you need to register it. If it's a two family, you need to register both units. Three family, all three units. You need to register the units with the state. And if it was built pre-1978, you need to have a lead certificate on file with the state.
That's correct.
And there are likely going to be fines. They are not being enforced just yet because the state does not have enough lead inspectors to keep up with the demand. But at some point, they will be enforcing that. So if you own a rental property,
Get on it.
register it, find a lead inspector. If you have questions, don't hesitate. We're here to help.
I was told that even if you don't have a lead certificate yet, to upload your property onto the rental registry and then upload the certificate down the road. So,
That's what I did.
Yes.
Is I don't have lead certificates yet, but I have registered them.
Yes. So I have both my lead certificates. Shout out to my inspector.
Overachiever.
Absolutely. So technically they were due by October 1st. I don't know why you're such a slacker in delaying the inevitable. But anyway, so I have both of mine. They're registered to my tenant. You are lead safe currently in those two properties. So keep an eye out on that. Rental registry. Get on it. Get those lead inspections. And let's move on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Starting in January, the electrician's bill. That's going to have a big impact in Rhode Island.
What's going on with that bill, Johnny?
So starting in January, home inspectors, licensed home inspectors, are not going to be able to open up the electrical panel or test outlets to ensure they're grounded for buyers as part of their home inspection.
This is going to be a nightmare.
Yes.
Absolute nightmare. So if a buyer wants the same type of inspection that they've grown accustomed to over the years, they have to hire an electrician to come out to the property to take that panel off and properly inspect that panel for things like double tap wires, corroded breakers, things along those lines. Absolutely insane. I can't get an electrician out to my house within weeks for a big project. Never mind, come test the panel. Are you kidding me?
That's going to be the biggest hurdle.
Yes.
Is not only is it going to be an additional expense for buyers,
Yeah.
but buyers have 10 business days, which is usually fairly tight. It's going to be near impossible to try to get electricians out there.
I'll tell you
During that
what.
time.
You know who's going to be loving it, though?
Electricians.
The electricians.
Yes.
They're probably like, this is fantastic. Yeah, but that seems just...
I can't even see them wanting to do it.
No, I think a lot of
No.
them. You know what I foresee? I think a lot of current electricians are probably going to get annoyed at the amount of phone calls and texts they're going to get. What I see ultimately happening is either
Wait, are they
newer-
not making money from it, though?
They-
What do you mean they're going to get
They
annoyed?
are, but most electricians
They can charge whatever they want to come out.
understand. Hear me out for half a second.
I don't
You're
think
acting
so.
like him.
I'm angry.
No, tell them how you feel.
I'm
Nate.
outraged.
Tell them.
No, I'm
Shut
sorry.
the
John, this is a family
Let's
podcast.
go. Guy has something
Dude,
he owe me, and all of a
Knock
sudden
it
he's...
off with the. It is
It's a family podcast, John. To this in the car.
as Nick said. You don't need that right now. As Nick said,
Does he?
so many electricians are busy and it's hard to get them out there to do a job within a reasonable amount of time because there's a lot of electricians who only want big jobs. They don't want to be bothered with the small, like hang a light fixture, change an outlet type jobs because they can't charge enough for that little job. They want to wire an addition. They want to wire a house, do those bigger jobs. So it's going to be similar to get them out there to do this quick 15-minute inspection. So what I see ultimately happening is either a company that's big enough and can afford to do this, bringing on an electrician specifically for these, almost like a separate little division,
Or home inspectors. Yeah, home inspectors get their license.
that could happen. Ultimately,
That's
it'll
the
take time.
smartest thing, yeah.
Or either a new electrician or maybe a retiring electrician who that's all they want to do. You know, that's their niche. They decide that they're just going to do home inspections.
I like the idea if you're a seller to do a pre-listing electrical inspection.
Not a bad idea.
Have it in hand.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
But can we talk about how already that, like, the buyer process is already difficult? So
Exactly.
this is just adding another barrier to the
Yep.
whole thing. That
Another
makes
expense,
it,
too.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So
Affordability issues all around. Let's
Yeah.
add more on top for
Right.
the buyers. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
good for
You
electricians,
got
though,
it.
potentially.
Reach out to your local representatives and let them know how you feel about that bill. It's already been passed, but hey, can't hurt to tell them. Key takeaways from the 2024 NAR profile of home buyers and home sellers. Did we discuss this in the pod before? I threw it back on. I don't think we did.
Yeah, because we talked about first-time homebuyers being 38 and said that's old.
Did we?
Yep.
I think maybe we have been consuming that media separately, but I don't know that we took that we discussed it on the podcast.
I agree with you. I don't think we have, Nate. So anyway,
All right, let it
NAR, the National Association of Realtors, released their annual report. Actually, it's always one of my favorite reads of the year. The profile of home buyers and home sellers. First topic that they shared was on the aging buyer demographic. The median buyer age is now 56 years, up from 49 just last year. It's a massive 7-year
up
increase
there.
in a year. First-time buyers' median age reached 38, while repeat buyers' median age is 61.
That's up to 38 for first-time home buyers.
That's the highest
That
I believe
number-
it's ever been, if I'm not
that
mistaken.
number is climbing.
There's also been a decline in first-time buyers. First-time buyers dropped to 24% of the market, the lowest since data collection began in 1981.
And what does that all come down to?
Affordability.
Yep.
Changing neighborhood preferences. Is that what you're going for?
The
Yeah.
shortest point and sub point I've ever heard.
We're direct guys. We are high Ds. We are drivers. So let's see. Changing neighborhood preferences. Key factors. Quality of neighborhood, 59%. And proximity to family and friends. This is the category John falls into. 45% for the key factors in a move.
Be nice.
The
He's
category
just bummed because I won't move next to him.
The category I fall into, convenience to jobs declined as a priority. 34%, down from 38% last year. So I wouldn't trade my commute to this office for anything.
But Nick is in that
Do
34%.
you guys know who Scott Galloway is?
I've heard the name before, yes.
Yes, he's a very intelligent, very successful businessman, and he was talking about, he did like a TED talk, and he was talking about how for the first time in any generation currently, the average 30-year-old is less successful and financially viable than their parents were.
For the first time.
For the first time.
Wow.
Yes, because what happens is, whether you're talking about the Great Depression or whatever, like, yes, we hit economic slumps, but generally the trajectory goes up. Income goes up, housing prices kind of, fluctuate. But for now, we're seeing wages stagnate pretty substantially. Meanwhile, everything else has gone up astronomically. So he talks about that in detail. And he also talks about things like Social Security benefits and how essentially a lot of wealth is coming from older people and it's not being distributed to younger generations. And so we're seeing a huge problem with that as far as affordability is concerned. So that is going to continue to be an issue for a while, I think. But there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And especially when you have a qualified team of people who are, like you guys, mindful of those things. You guys are aware that that's happening. You're not like in denial thinking that all these kids are flush with cash.
No.
So you see it. You see it on the ground level every day.
Every day. Every day.
Yep.
I actually just came from a final walkthrough about an hour and a half ago. And I met her out, young single woman, and she bought a property that needed to be fully renovated. And I told her, I got to give you a lot of credit. Like, I don't see this too often anymore. And she was realistic. She's like, listen, I knew in my price point that I had to take on something that needed some work. And I was, I was very impressed by that. Most people nowadays want the brand new kitchen. They want the quartz countertops. They want the gray walls. They want it to be move-in condition, not touch a thing, drop their furniture and go. But when you talk about your monthly expenses and what that translates to into a mortgage, a lot of times it doesn't mean home ownership for people. But in this case, she decided, hey, listen, I'm going to buy something that I can fix up slowly over time, make it my own, make it the way I want to see it. And I'm going to get into home ownership probably years ahead of when I would have otherwise. So
Right.
Awesome.
hats off to
Good
her.
for her.
Hats off to her.
It's awesome. You got to respect that when someone's willing to roll up their sleeves and make it work.
Absolutely. So that was my heartwarming story of the day. Home search trends. Buyers search for a median of 10 weeks and typically viewed 7 homes in their buying process. That seems low to me.
I was going to say the same thing. That seems low
7 homes? I feel like I show some buyers 70 homes.
for a lot more than 10 weeks.
Yes. So that seems low to me. Maybe that's how things work and very skewed due to the increasing inventory in other markets. We know we're still very constrained in the Northeast from a supply and demand standpoint. So certainly I think our market may be a bit of an outlier compared to the rest of the country on that one.
Yep.
51% of buyers found their homes online.
That makes
Low.
sense.
Low?
51%.
More than half.
Yeah. I tend to agree with John. That maybe seems low.
Really?
Yeah. I would think a lot more people are searching, just going on to Zillow.
I think it
Search for them.
probably depends on how they categorize that, though.
What does find your home online mean?
But
Right.
also, we're not factoring in older buyers too, who already own a home and are selling it and have equity. A lot of times, they're probably more likely to contact a real estate agent.
Yes, absolutely. And real estate agents assisted in 86% of purchases.
That doesn't surprise me. That even a little low.
I thought that seemed a little bit low as well.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Hey, you get to keep your drums.
Absolutely. For now. Diverse financing methods. No, we'll be keeping them for a long time. All cash buyers, this was interesting, reached an all-time high at 26% of all purchases, cash buyers. 26%.
A quarter of the buyers. More than a quarter.
Yes.
Cash.
Cash.
Woof.
Cash rules everything around
Yeah.
me.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Who sings it, John?
The
Wu-Tang.
median down payment, 9% for first-time home buyers.
You wanted to move on from
And
cash?
23% for repeat buyers. The highest since
Straight cash,
1997 and 2003, respectively.
Skrilla. Money, make it rain.
You don't want to talk about cash anymore?
Do you want to talk about cash rolling
What
everything
else
already?
do you want to say?
All right. Rise of multi-generational living. Multi-generational home purchases hit a record high of 17%.
That makes sense.
Driven by cost savings and elder care. Definitely makes sense. The real estate agent's role. 88% of buyers worked with agents primarily for finding homes. 49% of those said that they use an agent to find homes. And only 14% said they use agents to negotiate terms. That's a sad stat to me.
It really is.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Also, just thinking off the top of my head here, so multi-generational living, you're saying is kind of back in?
Oh,
Yes.
it certainly is. Yeah.
Isn't it weird that when I think of multi-generational living, I think of people immigrating from Italy and stuff coming here in the early 1900s,
Sure.
turn of the century. And so they would live together in these like very small tenement apartments, like a whole family. And then eventually, you make enough money. And then there was a huge period of time where people kind of went off and did their own thing. Now we're seeing people start to stay and move back in with each other. It's almost like a reverse. It's like very cyclical.
Certainly is.
Very
all comes
cyclical.
back.
Yeah, it's strange. It's very strange.
There's a lot of reasons for it. Obviously, affordability being one, aging in place, having children care for you as you do age, things along those lines. So I definitely see that continuing to increase. People are living longer.
People living longer. Yep.
Absolutely. So
a big one.
definitely think that's something that's going to continue to increase in popularity.
Yeah. But back to
Yeah, this was an important topic, I thought. But regarding the real estate agent's role, 88% of buyers used agents. 49% of those buyers said they used them for the search process itself to find homes. And yet only 14% said that they used that agent primarily for negotiating terms. This is a very sad stat because I truly believe, as a buyer's agent, I'm jumping into the color here for you, John. I apologize. I believe
he cuts me off.
He can't not.
I'm ready to start.
Unbelievable.
He cuts me off.
Can you give me a
so
second
he
because
can
this is
talk.
important.
And then he just keeps going
And
and,
he keeps
basically eliminates
and
me
then
from the seg.
gives you for not providing color.
Right.
Unreal. How he
Thank
gets
you.
to have it every way.
It's brutal.
John, this is a family podcast. You said the F word again. Can we try to circle back to get a good cut of
This is
this?
good. Yeah, sure.
Can I have a part in it since you cut me off?
We got to let John have add a bit
all
of color.
Circling back to how buyers use real estate agents. 88% of buyers used a real estate agent. 14%, only 14% said they use an agent for negotiating terms. Meanwhile, almost half said they use an agent to find homes. A very sad stat. Tell me why, John.
This all shocks me and
Yes.
is disappointing.
Yes.
So I don't want to downplay the importance of a realtor in finding a home.
It's not our role.
Because it's not.
No.
I mean, we can certainly help with that.
Yes.
We have a network of other agents. We have our ear to the ground. And yes, we do try to help buyers find a home.
Yes.
But that is not the most important part. Let's face it. Buyers can look on Zillow. They can find a house. And they know what they're looking for. But buyers are not seasoned and experienced daily in knowing what is a good offer, knowing what other things have sold for in the area, negotiating not just the price, but all of the terms of the offer, navigating a home inspection, navigating the mortgage process, and successfully getting themselves to the time of, I like this house, I want it, what comes next, to a successful closing.
100%. I couldn't agree more. I believe there was a study that was recently released that said 14% of all sales occurred off market. And we certainly try to help find off market properties through circle prospecting, our ISA department. We're going to have our ears to the ground. We're going to help find those types of opportunities, but still only 14% of potential possibilities in the market. Again, you can go on Zillow and see these homes as soon as they hit the market. Our role is to help you through that process, start to finish, help you get those best terms and protect your biggest asset, that house.
That's shocking.
For me, when I was buying a home with my wife, we bought a condo. We bought it back in 2021. and it was right before interest rates like spiked, so we lucked out on that end. But it didn't even occur to us, and I did a lot of research, but it didn't even occur to us to not use a realtor because I work full time, my wife works full time. I was working on set, and I was working 12, 14-hour days, and I don't have the mental energy or the time to even like to be researching this or try to like brush up on the laws and like what goes into putting together an offer. So our agent was like a huge saving grace and helped us navigate the transaction very painlessly, where I could just hand it off to them and they took care of it. You know,
we have an agent. We have a seller on the market right now with another agent in our office, and this particular property just sold like a month ago. She just bought the house a month or two ago. And long story short, she did not use us on the buy side. We never knew her at this point. But she went through and was, I want to say, quote unquote, advised to basically waive home inspections, waive contingencies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she couldn't be more unhappy with this purchase, to the point where she already put this house back on the market months later and is willing to take a loss on it.
Yeah.
You know, like those types of situations just paint the picture of why you need to work with a true professional. I always get a kick out of it too is when people are like, oh, I don't need your advice. I don't need a consultation. I don't need to sit down. I've bought and sold homes before. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. You probably have a better understanding than most. But we do this hundreds of times a year.
Right.
We're doing this every single week. We're doing this in changing market conditions, the recent NAR settlement, a completely different market than maybe the last time you bought, whether it's a strong seller's market, buyer's market, high interest rate, low interest rate, all the different factors that contribute to how you want to react in the current marketplace. And it's like we're in this each and every day.
Yeah.
Or how many times do you have someone, say a buyer, that, countless examples, a buyer that wants to go extra low, in a negotiation on price or ask for everything on a home inspection report. And while you want to get as much as possible for them, as someone who does this every single day,
It's not the best tactic.
the odds of getting the most is actually by asking for the things that are most important so you don't overwhelm the seller, have them shut down, and just say no.
Being reasonable.
Correct.
Yes.
Having a strategy. Or you mentioned the NAR settlement, and the changes to that. I've had a seller that wanted to counter the actual professional services fee being requested. And I said, what if we let them have that win, but we counter the price instead? And they'll feel like they won. And we did that, and he actually ended up getting more via the counteroffer and price than he would have with countering the professional service fee.
It's because that seller has a pro on his side.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can't discount experience, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So great stuff there. Really enjoyed that. Off the cuff, not even on the agenda. That was great.
Hell yeah.
Man, that was wonderful.
That's how we roll.
All right, it's a fast-paced market right now. The median time on market was 3 weeks, with sellers achieving 100% of their asking price. There's also been a massive decline in FSBOs, the acronym we quizzed Scorp on in episode 13.
Didn't get it.
He did
I
not.
thought that was his
It's
softball.
kind of a tough one, to be honest, if you're not in this each and every day. Did you know what a FSBO was, Nate?
For sale by owner, right?
You do now, but before you started working
I
with us?
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scorp, I thought that was your softball.
Because I worked here. If I didn't work here, I probably wouldn't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's before
Yeah.
you worked here. You wouldn't have known what a
No.
FSBO is.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought of it.
Did you know what a FSBO was before you were an agent?
I can hardly remember before I was an agent.
That's true, because you were 17 when you joined us, but had a long back-breaking career in construction before.
We have to get Kelly on this podcast. And actually, I have a client that listens to this podcast. So when
Yes.
she hears this, I hope she comments and roasts you. Because actually, it wasn't her. It was her husband. And so he was standing there, known him for a while.
Yep.
Chad, if you're listening, love you, buddy. We were at their house the
These
other
are
day.
like your cousins, aren't they?
No.
They're very close family friends, aren't they?
I know him through Farmer Dan.
Okay.
But
I'd
he,
be like, my brother says
But-
that you're a jerk.
no, he's known me for like 10 years, and this was totally random.
Okay.
And we're standing there, and he was looking at me, and he was like, man, it's a good thing you got into real estate. He goes, you could have been building houses right now. And I didn't even understand what he was saying at first, but then he started to talk about like the backbreaking work that it was when I worked in construction. And I looked at Kelly, and I was like, see? I was like, Nick,
Just
You were
Slocum real estate.
21 when you joined our company.
Anyway.
21.
Klein brought it up. I appreciated it. He actually knew me back when.
Nate, this
And,
is an ongoing feud between us. I got to ask you,
a
are you
feud?
on my side or John's side on this one?
John came to Slocum as a broken man.
What movie is this from, John?
Performing years of back-breaking labor.
All right, so anyways, some key points on road. Oh, we talked about that.
Buyer's perspective on investment. 79% of buyers believe that home ownership is a good financial investment. Only 79%? That's bananas. With 39% preferring it over stocks. Dr. Lawrence Yunes, median net worth between owners and renters, the comparison. This is from his most recent presentation, the NAR NXT conference, which was in Boston. I wasn't there. Missed out on my guy, but certainly I was always intrigued by what he had to say. So I pulled up his presentation slides, and I'll share them to Nate. You can probably overlay them on the YouTube video. P.S. If you're not following us on YouTube, go do that right away. It's even more entertaining than the audio version. So the median net worth between owners and renters has increased substantially since 2019. John, you want to take a guess at the median net worth of a homeowner in 2019?
In 2019?
Yes.
2019, pre-COVID. 180,000.
$295,000, 500.
Oh, in 2019.
2019. Compared to a renter, their median net worth in 2019 was $7,300.
I was going to say 10. So
$7,300 compared to $295.
Big gap.
2022 median net worth of a homeowner $396,200 compared to $10,400 for a renter.
Bit of a gap there.
Bit of a gap. 2024, his estimate for the end of the year, $415,000 median net worth for a homeowner. And that's compared to $10,000 for your median renter. $405,000 difference.
Yeah.
Yet 79% of buyers feel like real estate's a good investment.
Feel sorry for the other 21%.
So, good stats, as always. I think that's basically what we had on today's agenda. We've been doing this for a while. I got some calls to make. Let's wrap it up here. Any final thoughts?
No, it was a good episode.
I think it was a great episode, actually.
Yeah, no.
I think it was a little more real estate heavy than it has been recently.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're probably bored out of your mind over there.
I'm falling asleep over. No, it's
Another
good.
F-bomb. It's a family
I'm
podcast.
I'm sorry. No,
It's a family podcast.
we'll go
It
back.
is. My
we'll
kids
go back.
listen to this.
Your kids do?
Your
Yes.
kids say
Your kids
worse
do
than
not
they.
listen to
Yes,
this.
they do.
They say they listen to it, and they get 5
We
minutes.
drive
in.
down the road and listen to it.
You make them listen to it.
Your,
We've got to the bottom of
your
it.
kids also say worse than they hear on this podcast.
You think so?
I know so.
What are you trying to say
He's
about my
shocked.
children and my parenting style?
I'm just going by what I'm going by what you have told me.
Anyway,
well, in that case,
Moving on from that.
I think it was a great episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to celebrate the holidays with my family. Nice to get a little refresher, a little break. Although I probably will be working over the break, but at least have Thanksgiving.
I think as long as you just brainstorm the script for the final Elf John video.
Well, no, because I got to edit John's house that I just shot for him by Monday. It's going live, and then also
Coming
Did you
soon
even
on
give him
Monday.
Black Friday off?
He did it on Monday. I gave him 3 days this week.
What? No, I didn't.
All right, maybe 2 days. It was Monday night. So
Yeah, I had 2 houses that I edited yesterday. But yeah, so I'll edit the
If
podcast.
this was another agent on the team, you would say they're incredibly disrespectful and they don't value Nate.
I
and-
gave him
No,
a
he values
week.
me. He values me. And
I value him incredibly, and I gave him a week.
no, that's not true. He gave me. I shot 3 houses. Let's get it straight, John.
It's
If-
Thanksgiving week, John.
Okay, yeah. I shot 3 houses on Monday, 2 before his. I edited 2 of those houses yesterday in one day, and then today I did the podcast and the agent recruiting video and started editing his
Nate,
stuff.
I appreciate you. I think you do great work.
Thank you so much.
Hold
I'm really busy.
First of all,
it's fine. I'll go home. I'll
greatly-
start editing his house.
I have so many points here, so hold on. I greatly appreciate how wonderful Nate is. He's the man.
Thank you.
Last episode begs to differ.
I know you said that he's been basically useless for 18 months.
I didn't say that. I said I saw the best work.
Let's shower the praise. Are we competing over who
He's
said
the
the worst
man.
things about Nate?
Nate Dogg's the man.
Okay, cool.
At the photo shoot on Monday, he said, "John, when do you want these by?" I said, "Is a week from today. Next week, okay?" He goes, "Oh yeah, absolutely."
Yeah.
Did you say, Nate, I want you to know this is Thanksgiving week, just in case you weren't aware.
Yeah.
I know you don't have a big, happy Kumbaya family to go hang out with.
Right.
You know,
I
but
would never
Maybe
say
get
that
it to me on
him.
Tuesday. Give yourself an extra day.
And
Sir,
the recruiting video's done. Can I check that out?
It's not done yet.
Oh, I thought you said you did it. Can I see
saw
what
it.
you have?
It's just about done though.
Can I see it? I'm pumped to see
No,
that
no.
thing.
Yeah.
Wait for the final.
You were watching it. You two were clowning
I can-
around
I
during
saw
the meeting this
outtakes.
morning.
I saw outtakes. of
All
me.
right, well, we got to wrap here. Nick says he has phone calls to make. I think he's just going home to drink more wine. I'm going to give it an 8.4. I thought it was solid. Not our
Hey,
best, but I
That's
thought
a
it was
low
solid.
rating.
All right. No, that's fine.
Why are you so pessimistic about
That's
everything?
solid. I think
Negative
that's
on
solid.
Okay.
Yeah. 8.4. That's good.
Don't let him
What I
bring you
gave
down,
last week,
Nate
a
Dogg.
9.7.
You gave it one of your higher
I think you gave it a
ratings.
9.4. Oh, no, you gave it a 9.7 and then went back and gave it over a 10 after Nate absolutely freaked out at the end.
Freak out.
If I think I landed at a 9.7, if I am not mistaken. I hate to give it a 9.8. There's not a lot of room for improvement, but I think it was pretty good. I think it might have even been better than last week. A different vibe, not as
Contentious.
adversarial. Yes. So,
Give it a-
9.4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool. I like
Nate?
that. Yeah, I'll give it a.
4.3.
No. I'll give it an 8.7.
Really?
8.7.
That's a high number from you.
Yeah, I liked last week because I got to vent a lot more.
Let it go. Let it out right now.
No. I don't have anything to be angry about. I'm
Just-
very
just hit the-
happy
Other than editing photos on Thanksgiving Day.
and very grateful. And very grateful for my job and my family. So I
Nate,
have
just
nothing
hit
to
that
complain
bleep
about.
button and let it fly, buddy.
No, I have nothing to
Big
complain
guy.
about.
Sorry, big guy.
All I asked for is I would give it a 9.9 if you guys recognized and respected the fact that this is a family podcast. So that's all I have to say about that.
What a goober.
We're out.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching another episode. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and share with your friends and family. I will reiterate from last week, we are the sickest thing in the game in the real estate market. So thank you all for watching.
That side smile
We
right there.
are
My goodness.
Out.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Shootin' the SHT. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. And if you enjoyed this content, please share it with others and leave us a rating and a review. Buying, selling, or want to connect with Nick and JT? Visit Slocum Home Team on Facebook and Instagram or slocumhometeam.com. We'll see you next time.